Would you like to know more?
So welcome back to Warmaster Podcast, Adventures in 3D Printing, Episode 5. What we were printing last night? We were printing 8 Skelly Bob, I think they're called light Skelly Bob, in the sculpt files, but they're actually just skeletons. Just you've got to fashion skeletons, and 8 of the banners, and we had 4 just vertical on rafts with supports, auto support added, and 4 they were lent back 10% and added supports. Now, I changed my settings, and as every good scientist will tell you, what you shouldn't do is change too many variables at the same time. So what variables did I change? I changed my bottom layer exposure time. I changed the number of bottom layers. I decided to not print them with the bases flat on the bed, these lovely forest dragon bases, and to put them instead on supports on a raft. And I decided to start printing in my garage using my Jimmy rigged heated enclosure to get the resin. I can only get to about 20 degrees. I can't get it any hotter than that, just because I'll need to insulate the box to get it hotter than that. So 20 degrees, it seemed to work, but again, that may have been that the resin was slightly under the normal running temperature. So lots of different variables, and what that meant was only half of them printed. By a miracle, because the 10 degree backwards thing didn't make any difference. By a miracle, I got 1 copy of each of the 4 perfectly done. So that's brilliant. That's kind of I duplicate in case there's a problem. So I got exactly what I was after. So good, I got the 4 banners that I was after. What happened is exactly what I said I didn't think would happen yesterday, but you live and learn, is that they started peeling away from the print bed, as you can see here. So you can imagine below here was a raft and then lots of supports going down. And when I came to cut it off, this was kind of bent away and the raft had kind of peeled off the print bed because I'd not exposed the bottom layers enough, or maybe there weren't enough bottom layers, but whatever it is. So next time I'm going to increase the bottom layer exposure to 20 rather than 12. I can't remember if I stuck with 4 because I only wanted to change 1 variable rather than change 2 variables. So I think I might have left it at 4, but with the exposure of 20, and without using any rafts or additional support, because I'm actually printing off some NIDs again, some of the little skittering 2-hand weapon jobs, the Hormagaunts or whatever they're called. So I think I've printed about a dozen units worth. So you can actually hear, you probably can't hear, but it's whirring in the background, because now I'm in the garage, I'm able to record and have the machine running, which I couldn't do when I was in the kitchen, realistically. So let's talk about the print. We've talked about the fact that half of them failed. So yet again, there was a clean up and empty the vat and strain the vat resin and clean up the FEP and all blah 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 blah. So, but I'm getting a little bit quicker at that now, thank God. Although I'm going through 2 or 3 pairs of gloves when I have to do a job like that, because I don't want the resin getting everywhere. So once the gloves get covered, I tend to baz them away and use another pair. So 3 sets of gloves isn't no cost, especially in a global pandemic where gloves are kind of a bit of a premium. So anyway, this is a guy. He's not going to make the cut because this bend here, I don't think, even if I can I straighten it, it'll just bounce back. So that's a fail for me. I don't want that. I want good stuff. I want proper stuff. So I'll get out the ones that did pass muster, and I've had the Zenith undercoat strategy that so yeah, look at the stuff. Look at these fellas here. So this is your command strip, one of the 4 different variants. It's a big horn he's carrying, isn't it? He's got the horn there. And then we'll go across. So this is the same banner design, but on the different stand. So I like the guy there with the sword. Is he pulling out of a stone? Is he meant to be King Arthur or something? Okay, let's have a look at the back of them. One thing I'm seeing, I don't know, I don't think I changed the normal running settings. I think I left that at 2. Exposure time of 2 seconds. So, but I don't appear to have any of those lines on the shields that I did the last time I printed these skeletons. So that's good stuff. And here's the second half. So the strips are the same, I believe, but then the banner's changed. So, as I said, I don't think we've got very many lines on the shields and stuff like we did with the last set of prints. So that's good, but I don't, apart from the resin being a little bit cooler and all, I haven't changed the normal layer setting, so I'm not 100% sure why that would be. So that's good news. It's good news that those 4 printed. I've had people saying, oh, you need to change your lift settings and maybe even make the layer height smaller. But making the layer height smaller, I guess, will improve the detail, but it will slow the process down, I guess, because you're printing, if you move it from 0.05 millimeters to 0.02 millimeters, you're having to print 2.5 layers for each layer. And I don't know, although you probably could get better printing, I'm not sure what level of detail I'm going to be able to do anything with when I'm painting. So there's a balancing act there, in that there comes a point where, you know, like I think it was Matthew Street said that I don't want to be painting buttons at 10 mil. And that's right. I mean, how much detail can you handle? With physical sculpting, the detail is capped by the talent of the sculptor. I mean, when you're sculpting at 10 mil, there's only so much you can do. There's only so much manual dexterity, and your eyes can only see so small because you're actually physically sculpting. But when you're doing this kind of 3D sculpting, there's no end to the level of detail. Oh, what's that going on there? There's some black there. Oh no, maybe it's just a shadow. Right, so what am I going to print today? I'm going to print some nids, and then if I get the nids done in the morning, I'm going to print, because I'm recording this in Monday evening, I'm going to print some Cromedy Forge Dwarf Warriors. So I'll see how they print out, and then I will get on to the next bit. Tomorrow night I'll hopefully get on to some more Forest Dragon stuff from the October range. So one other thing I'm going to discuss in these videos is anything I come across that I wish I might have known at the beginning. So you're provided with these 2 scrapers in your starter pack. This plastic scraper, which is to get things off the FEP. I'm not sure it's that useful because as the Forest of Dragon people told me, you can normally just bang the stuff off your FEP from the back because the FEP's designed for stuff not to stick to. So a little bit of knocking and from the back and just flicking with your finger will normally pull that resin off the FEP. So this scraper here is probably going to be redundant now. The other thing was they provide you with what is effectively a wallpaper scraper to get the miniatures off your print bed. Now, that is, because I don't know if you can see, it's kind of flat on one side and tapered on the other side. So that is scraping the print head or print bed. I'm not sure how damaging or dangerous it is to have scratches and scrapes in it, because I'm not going hard at it. But obviously, to keep these things pristine, there must be a better solution. And Clarky, the mad scientist, advised me to pick up one of these things, which looks like a paint scraper, but it's made of plastic. So plastic razor blades. So I'll try not to cut my finger off here. So this is a plastic scraper. So you use this to knock things off the print bed. So this should remove the need for me to having to put rafts on, because this is like incredibly sharp, as sharp as a razor blade. and will be used to protect the print bed while you're getting the miniatures off. So I think it was about £7 or £8. Came with 100 blades. Available at Amazon. Make Jeff Bezos even richer than he is with his billions and billions and billions of dollars that he's earning from lockdown. So yeah, I would take these two, get rid of them. This one you don't need. This one you shouldn't use. Get yourself one of these things, £7 or £8, Amazon. I'd probably do that before I start printing because, yeah, I'm not sure what I've been doing is good for the long-term health of my print bed. So that was the end of episode 5. I'll show you what happens with the hormogoints or whatever they're called, and I might even show you some of my paint scheme of the Tyranids, and I will show you hopefully some Cromarty Forge Dwarf Warriors. All right, have a good evening.